Nico's got him a pecan. Yeah, got some pecans in for the boys. And then I brought in these little stuffed animals. And I know they're gonna get ripped to shreds. But they've been sitting in a basket in my bedroom. And now that Petey and Nikko don't sleep with me anymore, I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? They're just sitting in a basket. So I thought, all right, I'm just gonna bring them in here a little at a time, and we'll see if any of them make it through it, but probably not, because Harley likes to tear out the stuffing. So they're pretty busy eating their pecans right now. I just got done picking up pee and poop, and I always bring them in something. And I mentioned this to someone the other day in a reply to a comment. I always bring in something for them to eat when I come in to pick up pee and poop, because otherwise they are all over me. I mean, they jump on me and they're climbing on me, and it makes it difficult to pick up the pee and the poop. So Harley's looking really intently for a spot that he can tear into. Anyway, it makes it easier if they're occupied when I come in here to pick up the pee and the poop. So I always bring them a little something. And so I just brought them a couple of pecans that I just slightly crack them, and then they have to work to get the rest of the, cracked the rest of the way. So yeah, we got a big cold front coming through tonight. Hey there, Harley. Harley man. Harley man's up here with me. Yeah, Harley man up here with me. Yeah, we got a big cold front coming through tonight. It's gonna be really cold. But luckily, it's really warm in here. Oh, Nikko has to go get him some vegetables in the middle of eating his pecan. And there's Harley up there with the pecan, breaking it the rest of the way out. So I think the boys are finally starting to get settled in to their new bedroom. Nikko, he never did go over and start sleeping in those doghouse kennels that I put in there, or hammocks that I put in there. So what I did was, a couple weeks ago, I put in his hammock that used to be in, Petey sees all those stuffed animals down there, and he's like, hey, I haven't seen these in a while, because I just had them in the bedroom. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, what I did was I got the hammock that I used to have hanging in the cages in my bedroom. I've told you guys before, back when Petey and Nikko were sleeping with me, I would put them each in a little cage in my bedroom while I took my shower. And it was just a little bitty cage, but Nikko's over here. No, Nikko. Anyway, when I would take my shower, I would put them in there, those little cages, and they just would go right to their hammocks. So anyway, I took the hammock out of one of the cages that was in my bedroom, and which I need to just get rid of those cages. I don't need them anymore. But anyways, so I took it out and I put it in the bedroom there. I don't know if I can. Oops! I just stepped on a shell. Yeah, I can't really. It's too dark. I'll have to show you when I walk out here in a minute. I'll show you the little hammock that I put in there for Nikko, and he's been using it. The very first night, none of them used it, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're not even going to use that one. But after that, then the second night, Nikko started sleeping in that hammock, and he's been sleeping in it ever since. So, and then Petey sleeps in those doghouse hammocks. And Harley just kind of, sometimes he'll sleep in a hammock, one of the doghouse hammocks, and sometimes he'll sleep on that back alcove area there. He kind of just goes back and forth on where he sleeps. But anyway, but Petey's pretty consistent. He always sleeps in a hammock. For the most part, he has one that he's designated as his, but sometimes he sleeps in one of the other ones. I mean, he has a choice of 3, because Harley doesn't sleep in one every night. But I think they're getting settled in pretty good. I have had a problem this past week. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I really shouldn't call it a problem, but it kind of is a problem because it interferes with what I wanted it to, how I wanted it to work. But this last week, Petey and Nikko have decided that they don't want to come through that tunnel. They'll come through the tunnel because what I do is I go into their bedroom area there and open that door and then call them in. And Harley comes running in there to me every single time. Every time. Such a good boy. Petey and Nikko have started this. They will go through the tunnel and get all the way to the door. And they'll look around and then they'll turn around and come back in here. And I'm like, you guys. So they make me come in here to get them. Yeah, it's not going to be long and Harley's going to have that tore up. So I come in here, and as soon as I walk in here, then Petey and Nikko both jump on my shoulder, and then I just carry them through there to their to their living or their bedroom. I'm like, you guys, you're supposed to come through the tunnel, but it still works out pretty good. So I don't know. I think what I've been doing lately, I'm going to work with them on the word. I have to say this really light, vitamin. Because they love those vitamins. Oh my goodness gracious. So what I've started doing the last week is, well actually the last few days, is when I do give them their vitamin, because they get a grape and a vitamin every night. Sometimes 2 grapes if they're smaller ones. But anyway, so I think what I'm going to start doing, or what I have been starting to do, is really making sure I pronounce that word very, very, like, make sure that they understand that that's what that's called, because they love it so much. Of course they love it so much. It's got 1 gram of sugar in it. Each vitamin has 1 gram of sugar. So, but you know, sometimes you have to, and Nico's up here with me. Sometimes you have to weigh the pros and the cons, and I think there's more pros from them getting those vitamins than there is a con from getting the 1 gram of sugar. So, but I count that gram of sugar towards their 5 grams that they get in a day, because I make sure they get less than 5 grams of sugar a day. So anyway, that's what I've started to do, is making sure that they know what that word is, and then I can just stay on the other side there and just say that word, and then they'll come over eventually, I think. So I've been trying it with grapes, but that's not enough to entice them. So anyway, we'll try that and see, because, you know, the whole reason for doing this was so that I could have someone else take care of them if need be. But, you know, someone else can't come in here, and they're not going to jump on them to be carried into the other room. So I've got to get them to where they will go through that tunnel every single time. And so that's kind of my idea, what I'll do to get them to do that. So Pete's still working on that pecan. I'm trying it. Get broke open so you can get the pecans out. Nico's up there with the vegetables. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 little containers there. Actually, there's a 5th one. Crazy boys. And Harley's down there eating on a pecan. Looking at those stuffed animals down there, those stuffed toys. Like, how long is it going to take me to get the stuffing out of this one? I mean, I've got a huge basket in my bedroom. Huge basket. I had already pulled out the ones that were special to me, the ones that were Kiara's. I had already pulled those out and put those in that glass display case. So the ones that are in there are just ones that that Petey and Nikko were using when they would come to bed with me. So anyway, I'll just bring them in here a few at a time and wait for them to destroy them. Hey there, Petey. Alright, I'm going to show you guys Nikko's little hammock. Alright, gotta get the lock on. Get the lock on there. Harley's still down there. Okay. Let's see here. I think I'm going to have to turn the light on. Hold on. Yeah, that's much better. Anyway, that's the little hammock that I put in here that used to be in the bedroom. So, yep. It's the little hammock for Nikko.